In the past couple decades, the difference is really pretty dramatic. It's been a long time coming, but piece by piece, we've put it together. We started off in the mid-'80s with a plan to revitalize the riverfront, to change from water-dependent, old-fashioned, industry-based zoning to more people-oriented public access. That eventually culminated in our river walk, where we took over the abandoned rail line that runs along our 4-mile riverfront, and now that's ours. It's now a pedestrian, biking, jogging path. There'll be interpretive signage. We've restored several of the piers on these street ends for public access, public platforms like the one we're standing on now, the 6th Street River Park. Unfortunately, we've lost many of the old cannery buildings, but we've preserved wherever we can. Astoria, as you know, because of its topography on a peninsula, a hilly peninsula sticking out into the estuary, the lower Columbia River estuary, we really don't have any flat land. The flat land that's here is built on dredge spoils on the shoreline. Most of Astoria's hills contain a lot of clay soils, and the past couple of very wet winters have really shown us that they can be pretty slippery. The city files contain instances of streets and homes sliding going back over a century. This isn't a problem that just cropped up. A little house was located up on the hill a few blocks away, and a woman had just moved into the house when the slide occurred. And so they found her temporary shelter and said, "You'll have to move your furniture out." And they eventually decided that the houses were worth saving, and they relocated them down on a vacant lot down near the courthouse on flat ground. And she tells the story of the house movers saying, "Well, you have to get everything out of the house, but leave the appliances in, and we'll be as gentle as we can." And she forgot a can of canned fruit in the refrigerator with the top open, partially filled can of fruit. And they move the house, and she moves back in, opens up the refrigerator door, and there's the can of fruit with not a drop spilled. That's how careful those guys were, and they were coming down a pretty steep grade off of that hillside. She still lives in that house today. I think that slide occurred in the early 1950s. Likewise, from our population base, the population of this town's been 10,000 people for most of the 20th century, except for the blip from the Navy during World War II out of Tongue Point, the Naval Air Station and the Navy base. So what we're really focusing on here is really prosperity without growth. What we want to have is a vibrant community, the high quality of life, a diversified economy with a variety of jobs that fit the information age. At the same time, we don't have to depend on double-digit growth in population.